Podcasting from the Chicagoland area, this is Game On with Jackson Stuart, where we discuss men's lifestyle, focusing on sex, fitness, relationships, business, and more. We'll be interviewing the best of the best, the hot shots, and the rising stars in the worlds of modeling, fitness, cooking, and more. Influencers who are discussing keeping it sexy while at the top of their game. I'm your host, Jackson Stuart. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the game. Game recognizes game, and that is what allows for two players to meet suddenly and quickly. While your man Jack is not calling himself influencing the score, our guest this evening is. Game truly does recognize game, and looking at a multifaceted, multidimensional power player like our guest this evening, recognition is not only a given, but a right. Meet the one and only Pamela Ross. Not only is she a YouTube sensation, she's also a visual artist, creating many forms of content, from skincare to streetwear. All right, folks, you have heard the biography, you've heard the introduction, and now please join me in welcoming the multifaceted and transparent Pamela Ross to the show. Pamela, how are you tonight?
I'm really, really good. I love how you did that.
Well, I'm glad you're with us, and I always like to give a little backstory on how we get the guests here. And for those listening, Pamela has been dedicated to getting on the show. I reached out, and we've been emailing back and forth, and she's so generous because, as is all too often the case, I totally screwed up our time zones. And I blew her up way before her interview was set. So I do apologize, but she's a trooper, and she's very kind to stick with us. So Pamela, let people know where they can find you and by what username. And what platform are you most prevalent on?
So I'm on YouTube. I go by Pamela Ross on there. I'm also on Instagram, Twitter, and a little bit of TikTok, not too much. And I go by PX Ross on all of those platforms.
Now, where are you from, and is that also where you grew up?
Yeah, I'm from Las Vegas, which is a very exciting place to grow up, I would say.
I feel like I'm losing money just by talking. I feel like I'm just losing. That's
what
what I
they
feel.
all say. I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a very interesting place to live. I'm still here, obviously. I genuinely love it. I used to hate it growing up, but it's transformed as a city, and it's growing. Even now in the pandemic, it's still making money, which is crazy. So I feel like it's just a really great, simple place to live with a lot of opportunity. So
now I'm sure you have I'm sure you have friends from all over, the country, the world. And when you compare growing up to people who grew up in quote unquote more like town places, like where there's two schools and everybody knows each other, and compared to growing up in Vegas, do you feel like there's such a huge difference, or do you feel like that's just in perception?
Oh yeah, I feel like there's a huge difference when it comes to having culture. So I feel like in smaller towns, everyone knows each other, which is the same in Vegas, but at the same time, there isn't really strong culture here. We are, a city that's grown on traveling and stuff like that, and people moving in and out of here all the time. So not a lot of people stay here for that long. So it's really rare when you meet people that are actually from Vegas that are still living here, because people just see the city as like a pit stop, when they get bored of their own lives, and then they're out. So that's the only thing I would really feel like it's a downfall. Like, I really wish I had like childhood friends that I was still friends with, and like the small town vibes where you can like actually trust your neighbors and stuff like that. So out here, it's a little bit different in that aspect.
Are you inherently good at all forms of gambling?
No. I honestly stay away from it. I stay completely away from it. I feel like that is just, it's rigged. And we all know that.
So
So
you
I just feel like it's fun here and there, but nothing serious.
so we described you as multifaceted, which is anybody who spends 5 seconds looking at your digital footprint would be hard not to agree. You're an influencer. You definitely have some modeling going on.
Oh,
You've
yes.
got definitely a YouTube presence, and you're with Banish skincare products. So how did you get into those businesses? Was it all at the same time? Did one kind of fall in place after the other?
It actually happened all in the same day, which is crazy. So I've been
That
building my YouTube
that
channel
sounds like
for
a
about
really
two
good day.
years.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, that's like Christmas. But I'm sorry. Go ahead. I interrupted.
So, yeah, I was actually going through a lot and I was still trying to be consistent with my YouTube channel, trying to figure things out on how to get searched and all that stuff. And I do a lot of keyword search, so I learned all about it and how to rank my videos really well. And then I just like decided to make a business email and put them in all of my videos. And some of my skincare videos just took off like crazy. It was the derma rolling one. And I feel like I have pretty decent skin, but I did also struggle with my skin. So I'm really transparent about that. I'm not really like a big makeup fan. And I feel like that's what attracts people to my page. And so, yeah, I just woke up one day and had a whole bunch of emails from different companies that wanted to work well with me. And Banish really stood out to me because Banish is actually a skincare brand that I've always wanted to try. And I've seen all of these bigger influencers using that brand. And they were actually working with them as well. So the fact that they found me and reached out to me, I felt very, very honored. And I was so quick to say yes. So I'm so glad that I'm a part of them now. And I'm going to be with them for the next year or so. So I'm very proud.
Well, they're smart people that reached out to you for sure. With having a foot in the world of YouTube and a foot in the world of Instagram, what are the challenges for you in keeping those plates spinning, so to speak?
The biggest challenge I would say is growing from nothing. So I started my whole journey and my career from zero. I never had a following on Instagram like that. I never had a following on YouTube. And a lot of influencers that start out kind of have a little bit something to work with. They'll have like a few thousand or like 10K or something, and they'll grow really fast from it. But for me, I started organically and I didn't want any help. That's the thing. I didn't want to buy followers. I didn't want to, reach out to people to promote it. I wanted to just grow from people genuinely liking me, from my vibe, from my opinions, and everything like that. So that's why I chose to be super transparent with my channel. And it really helped me to connect with my audience that I have now. And now, like, people are hearing about me in different countries. Like, I just went to Mexico last week and I went to Cancun. And the guy that was actually touring our hotel with us, his daughter is actually one of my subscribers, which is crazy to me. But that's how people are able to connect with me on such a deep level from anywhere, and I don't even have a following like that. So I know it's because of my content and not because of the numbers. And that's what really like it does. It's a challenge to really grow from nothing because you're trying to get exposure all the time. You don't know if your content is good. And you kind of like want the money to flow in effortlessly. And so putting in all the work really does help, just builds that credibility and stuff like that. So I'm really enjoying the challenge, I would say.
So
But that's probably the only thing.
having built up from nothing, and then you're in Cancun, and you find out that it's that you have not even 6 degrees of separation, but like 2 degrees or even one. How did that make you feel? That must have been like surreal. Like, here's somebody on the tour, and his daughter is a fan of yours.
It was so surreal that I really didn't believe it. But he took a picture with me and sent it to her, and she was like, "Oh my God, I know her. I watch her," and all this stuff. And I was just like, wow, this is crazy. Like, I'm not even super big yet at all. And I'm really humble about it. So, anyone that I can actually connect with that far away from me is genuinely a blessing. Like, I love every minute of it.
So the rest of the world wakes up, gets their coffee and teleworks, or still drives in, etc. Pamela Ross wakes up at what time, and then what is her day like?
So my days vary. They are different every single day. I do have a 5-year-old son that I try to balance mom life, social media, my craft, all of it in one. So I try to wake up at 8 a.m. every day. Sometimes it's a little earlier, sometimes a little later. And I start out by, self love and meditation, journaling, getting my mind right for the day. And then that's how I'm able to be the most inspired.
What's your favorite part of the business?
My favorite part is having a connection with my audience for sure, and being able to inspire people that I don't know. I feel like that is the greatest gift of life. And just to know that I'm touching even one person's life out there and they can relate to me in some type of way, whether if it's from, having bad skin, being a mom, or mental health or anything like that. I feel like as long as I can tell my story and someone can relate, that is my favorite part of this whole thing.
What's your least favorite?
My least favorite would probably be spending so much time on my phone. I'm somebody who really, really hates, I don't hate it, but I don't enjoy being on social media. And you would never have thought that because I take so many pictures. I'm really creative with my aesthetic. I love creating videos and stuff like that, but I do really hate spending too much time on social media. So that's the only thing that I'm trying to balance out.
Well, it's interesting you say that, but you're not the first influencer I've ever spoken to that said the same thing, and I think there's this misperception or misconception that you guys, influencers and models and people who work a brand and create a brand, relish just the chance to get up and get on their phone all day and sit there, and it's false, because for you, social media and that type of methodology it's a job. And I think the public,
Yeah.
they foolishly think, oh, they just have fun all day. And that's one of the reasons why we do the shows. I like to connect people with the idea that you guys are people, and where other people, their job might be ledgers and laptops and whatever, yours are, social media, Instagram, Twitter, and so on. So I totally understand that. You must be over my shoulder reading my next question, which would be weird because I don't see you here. Inspiration. Um, there are people who are going to hear this who either A, want to follow in your footsteps, B, are trying to follow in your footsteps organically, which is, that's a feat right there in and of itself, or
Oh, yeah.
maybe struggling with skincare issues. So what are three I know I gave you three very diverse groups, but I could already tell that you can give me three inspirational tips that would apply to either of those three groups.
So skincare and what'd you say? The other one was
Well,
after that?
somebody's wondering if they can follow in your footsteps. Somebody's trying to follow in your footsteps organically and struggling, and somebody is having skincare issues.
I would definitely say consistency. Don't give up on yourself. Really put your best foot forward and keep doing it until you see the results. Because what I've learned about being in this industry, it's not about how hard you work, it's just about how long you can do it for. And it's the
Mm.
determination and it's the consistency that really pays off because at the end of the day, you could put in so many videos, but you can still see results the more consistent you are rather than putting 100 videos out in 1 month or whatever it is. And you can it's more so the longer you do it is where you're going to see the most progress. And I feel like also putting out quality content and being consistent with that. And I mean, that could even go for skincare too, like always being consistent with quality products, doing research, doing what your skin likes, getting to know yourself on that level. I just feel like we're so rushed in life and we're so fast paced that we don't really sit down and listen, whether if it's to ourselves or to what's around us or tuning in all aspects. It's just sometimes we just kind of get distracted by what we need to do instead of listening to our intuition pretty much. And I feel like that's the key to life.
What are you currently working on that you want to let people know about?
I'm actually working on my own podcast as well. That's why I was so
What?
excited to come on
What?
here.
What?
Yes.
It
I
better
wanted to
not. It
come
better
on
not.
here and really like
It better
get the
not run in my time
experience.
slot.
Oh, not at all. Don't worry. So I'm actually somebody who struggled really bad with depression and anxiety. And I have recently just healed myself from it. And I've been on this healing journey that I just wanted to share with people out there. And I wasn't really sure on how I wanted to do it. It would be more like a YouTube podcast type of thing, but I really wanted to just have a sit down place where I can just be completely honest with shit that, sorry if I can cuss or not, but stuff
Go to
that
town. Go to town. Go to
um,
town.
stuff that people don't like to talk about. That's scary. That's fearful. Like the dark places that people go to in life and they have no escape. And I want to be that escape for them because I've actually experienced spiritual awakening through that time and being able to know myself on a completely different level where I don't even know if I was ever happy in my life before until now. And so
Well,
that's what I'm working on. It's going to be great. It's going to be a couples podcast so we can get a men's and women's perspective. So that's my next project.
well, all kidding aside, and in absolute honesty, let me be the first person to congratulate you on this
Thank you
idea
so much.
of a broadcast, whatever media you decide, whether it be podcast or YouTube, or congratulate you on that journey. I can tell it's going to be amazing. And
Thank you so
any
much.
any advice that I can give that may be worth a shit. See, you can swear here. You can say shit all you want. That I can give. By all means, please do not hesitate to ever call on me for any ideas or advice or whatever I can give you. So I said it, and I can't
Oh,
take it
thank
back because people are
you.
going to hear it, but I mean that 100%. In keeping
Yeah, we
with the
got it on
theme,
tape now.
I know it's out there. It's a binding contract.
We got
In
receipts.
in keeping with the theme of sexiness, what is the sexiest thing about Pamela Ross?
The sexiest thing about Pamela Ross is her mentality. I have got so many compliments on how I think and how rare it is, and how I inspire so many people that don't even know what I look like. And the fact that a lot of people can tell me that they love me without even knowing who I am, I feel like is the sexiest trait.
What makes a man sexy?
What makes a man sexy? I would definitely say his drive. Because I'm really driven as a woman. I'm really independent. Chasing the bag. I am really inspired and motivated. And I feel like a man that can match that type of energy is sexy for sure.
It is now time for the quick game, where we like to give our guests a chance to run through some entertaining questions. Pamela, are you ready?
Yes, let's go.
Pamela, I'm sorry, I lost you for one quick second. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Awesome. What type of milk do you put in your cereal?
Almond milk.
Did you ever believe in
Don't
Santa
judge me.
Claus? No.
No.
Judgment's safe here. If there is a spider in your house, do you kill it or set it free?
Kill it for sure.
What's something you could eat for a week straight?
Sushi.
Would you go to a movie alone?
Yes.
When was the last time you stayed up past 4 o'clock in the morning?
Last Wednesday.
If you've ever seen any of the movies, who is your favorite Harry Potter character?
Hermione.
Do you own a bicycle?
No.
I know in Vegas, I feel like you would just be pedaling through the desert. So maybe that doesn't.
I know, it's so hot.
Yeah, nobody's going to do that on a bike. On a scale of 1 to 10, how much do you enjoy garlic?
7.
What size bed do you prefer?
Callie King.
And who inspires you?
Myself. My higher self.
Good people, sexy people, that wraps up our interview with the multifaceted, the ultra gifted, and the transparent Pamela Ross. Pamela, thank you for joining us this evening. One more time, let people know where to find you.
I'm Pamela Ross on YouTube, PX Ross on Instagram. Follow me, subscribe, show some love, and that is all. Thank you so much.
Pam, thank you so much for joining us.
I appreciate your time and letting me be a guest on here. It's really, really great what you're doing.
Good people, sexy people. That wraps up our show. Follow me on Instagram at Jackson Stuart 2 and on Twitter at Jackson Stuart 01. Keep up with the show at www.gameonwithjack.com, and we'll see you next week. Until then, keep it sexy and game on.